I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side, I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, when you throw that to the side, I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. 713 through the 281, yeah, I'm riding. Why they on me? I'm flying, sipping low key. I'm sipping low key and honest, fire rider. I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side, I get those goosebumps every time.
Hello. Hey Chris, how's it going?
I'm all right, mate. I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Look at bad result for us today, but what can you do? We kind of anticipated that there was going to be something that would throw us off track, but only off track slightly. Look at first of all, we start on a positive note. Congratulations to the women's team, and they're promoted now to the upper division. So congratulations to the ladies team. All the best for the next season. But yeah, great to finally get out of that division. I know they came so close last season, but took care of business this season and got it done. So onwards and upwards for them. So yeah, I'm sure people will be hearing loads about that in the coming days as well. But let's focus on the game today and the Newcastle United Arsenal game. So first of all, congratulations to Arsenal. Fair play, and they got the victory. But I haven't really checked Twitter, but I'm imagining there's some kind of mini explosions going off in Twitter now at the moment as well. Panic setting in, but no need to panic. It's not today's loss wasn't like the Villa loss. It was we put in a decent performance. Okay, we were at home, but we did put in a decent performance. But your initial reaction to the loss, Chris?
Yeah, do you know what, Daz? For me, it's just about not panicking. Like, obviously, we were beaten by the better team today. You're absolutely right. But the thing that sticks out for me, having watched the game today, is that we had some key chances and we just didn't take those chances, and that's really what's cost us today. I mean, obviously we had the Willock hitting the post early on. We had I can't even. I know we're going to talk about it later, but Shah with the bullet header, like he's got to score that. He's got to score. He gets it on target. He does everything right, but you put it either side of the goal. He was unmarked. So that was frustrating. Do you know what? There was a couple of disappointing performances today, but on the whole, like I thought we played all right. And let's not forget, we're playing against second in the league. We're playing against a very good Arsenal side, and maybe some of us were thinking back to last season when we beat Arsenal 2-0, and we were absolutely fantastic. We're playing a different Arsenal team now. And it's a shame. And if we'd have won today, it would have been brilliant, because it would have just kept that gap up. Especially with Liverpool now winning those 2 games. So we've got 2 games in hand, obviously, or 1 game in hand, I think it is now. And there's still a 3-point gap. But yeah, it's just frustrating. But I think Eddie and the lads, there won't be a massive, serious, inquest into today's performance, because I think it was just one of those games.
Tweak little things again and look back at it, and look at it. It was just it could have gone the other way as well, because as I'll describe in a second. I just had this feeling today something wasn't going to go right, though. I did think it was going to be a draw, but I said that 2 days ago. But I just said, because my brother's an Arsenal fan, and he's been over from Australia for the last 3 weeks. And since he's arrived, Arsenal have done crap, and as soon as he got on a plane today, that turns, typical. But yeah. Okay, let us get into it. Let's look at the team news first of all. Here's the team news. So Longstaff was out. Sam was back on the bench. Gordon dropped back to the bench. The big news was Wilson and Isaac started for the first time together. So yeah, thoughts on the team news? I guess we touched on it with Pete Graves, and yeah, Pete Graves was calling for them to both to start. I know Pete and myself are more reluctant on the both of them starting, but look, it's I wouldn't say that was the reason we lost Stratton today. But what was your thoughts on our lineup, Chris?
Do you know what, Daz? I was really excited. Obviously, we had our usual goalkeeper back four. The three lads in the middle: Bruno, Big Joe, and Joe Willock. We had Jacob Murphy on one wing, and then Callum Wilson up top. Who Callum Wilson needed to start up top today for me. And having Alexander Isak on the left, very, very exciting. I was really, really excited hearing about that pre-match. But yeah, I was very happy with the lineup, and obviously it was really nice to see St. Maximin back in the squad as well.
Yeah, no, it was, and actually when he came on, he did okay as well. He was
He did.
lively. Yeah, a nice little cameo from him. All right, here's the Arsenal squad as well, just for anyone that wants to know and hasn't seen it. Right, let me run through the game. I'll be quick enough to run through this. First half,
Go for it, mate.
straight up, first minute, Willock had a nice run. Put it across, and Murphy took a shot, hit the post. Good Newcastle press the early stages of the game. Then on to the 8th minute, the ref gives the penalty, and then it obviously goes to VAR, and they look at it, and for me, I'm going to say it wasn't a penalty. It was it did hit his leg first, and even doubtful if he kind of even brushed his hand or not, but it wasn't a penalty. What do you think there, Chris, on that one?
Yeah, do you know what, Daz? When it first happened, I was screaming for the penalty. And when I saw the first replay, I was like, pen. And then the more I watched it back, I was like, actually, nah, this isn't a pen. When it hit his knee and then bounced off, there's no guarantee that it actually touched his arm.
Yeah.
It may have brushed it, but yeah, it wasn't enough for the penalty. It really wasn't.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So we move on. 5 minutes later, Odegaard with their first shot on goal from a distance. No one. Joe Linton was the closest to try and come and close him down. The ball went through Botman's legs and into the bottom corner there. So Odegaard with that goal, he's some player, by the way, Odegaard. But yeah. Good goal for Arsenal. Not a great goal for us to concede. Do you think we should have done a bit better there?
Do you know what? It's a really 2-0. Hang on. Is it 2-0 West Ham? Have they given it?
Go on.
They give it? Called it off? No, they haven't given
Still
it.
1-0.
Yeah, I think it's still 1-0.
Is that the second half of the game?
Yes, mate. Yeah. We're 50 minutes in, second half. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, do you know what? It's funny. The one criticism I've got of that Odegaard goal, the main criticism is the fact that we didn't close them quick enough. I think we could have closed them quicker, especially given our press. Our press is fantastic. So the fact that no one closed them quicker was disappointing for me. But when you watch the goal back, which I'm sure everyone has, it sneaks through Botman's legs. And I just think, do you know what? It's just one of those goals where you just
unlucky.
Do you know what? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't pin blame on anyone really. It was kind of just one of those things, Right, we move on. 20 minutes, double save from Pope, and then 3 minutes later, another save from Pope when Arsenal were clean through and they should have made it 2-0 at that stage. Willock on the 26 minutes had a shot at the keeper. 35 minutes, Pope's clearance hits off Saka. He nearly put him straight in as well. Final ball from Newcastle is poor into the box. I said here, and then Arsenal started to do a bit of time wasting. Where did they learn that from? Then on 51 minutes, Pope with an unbelievable save to keep us in the match. Arsenal should, it was Odegaard with that shot right on the halftime whistle, but it remained 1-0 at halftime, but it was getting fiery at that stage. You could see it starting to spill over. Those tension there. Xhaka was it was like someone's going to get a card here. You're thinking going into that second half, it was starting to build. Well, we move into the second half, and then straight away, much like the start of the first half, Murphy went down the wing, a good cross in, and Isaac with the bullet header, and it hits the post again for us. So that was on the 47th minute. He was just unlucky there as well. He didn't do anything wrong. It was just the way it came about. Then, as Chris, as you mentioned, then on the 48th minute after that, the Shar's header, he had a free header then, as it said, and it was saved by the keeper, but should have put it either side of him, I guess. Then 50 minutes, Martinelli hit the crossbar. 58 minutes, Willock should have pulled the trigger earlier, but Xhaka got in a good block on him there on that one. You were thinking at that stage, we're going to come back in this. We're on them. But dragged on a bit. Then Miggy came on in the 64th minute. Murphy went off. 70 minutes. Then it all fell apart for us. Shar with the own goal. Unfortunate deflected it in. 77 minutes then. Willock and Wilson come off. ASM and Flash came on. 80 minutes. J7 and Bruno come off, and Target and Anderson come on. Again, there was the tensions were building, and I think it was probably a wise decision from Eddie Howe to take who's most likely to get sent off, Joe Linton, when he gets fiery. So I think that's why he probably took him off. Then another bit of time wasting from Arsenal, and yeah, that was it. 2-0 to Arsenal, and that keeps their hopes of a title challenge alive, I guess. They are sitting, I'll bring up the table in a second as well, but they're sitting a point behind Man City, but they played a game more. But we'll look at the table in a second. Overall, Chris, your thoughts on the game?
Overall thoughts on the game, just a bit disappointing. But again, I'm not having a meltdown. I think Lisa Mould mentioned before earlier, which I totally agree with. Any advice I could give to anyone this evening, just stay off Twitter, because I think there'll be a lot of people on there saying he's crap, he's no good, need to swap him out, don't play him again. We don't need any of that. It's just the fact that a few of our players didn't turn up today. We didn't play to our full potential. We had clinical chances, we didn't take them. And Arsenal, deserve to win and manage the game really well. Yeah, I think that for me, that's it.
That's a good summary there, and the main thing is that don't panic. Look at the Man United game that's been on there now. They're behind to West Ham, and that's a good result for us as well. It just keeps it all interesting, keeps it all tight as well. But look, if we're going to then go into the ratings, and we're not going to go individuals as such. We kind of maybe put them into groups. So Popey, for me, I would give Popey an 8 because he had some unbelievable saves. Now he let in 2 goals, but he had some unbelievable saves and kept us in the game. Whereas we could have scored 3 or 4 goals ourselves. They could have scored about 5. But only for Pope that kept us in that game. What any thoughts on Pope?
I thought Pope had a reasonably good game. I don't know what it is, Daz. He still makes me feel nervous. I still feel nervous with him. I don't know what it is. Yeah. Like, he made some good saves, but like that kick you mentioned, where like it cleared it and it brushed past Saka, and I just thought, what are you doing? But on the whole, no, I thought he kept us in the game, because it could have been 3 or 4 without Pope. So in fairness, he made some critical saves.
Actually, just I'm looking for positives here, but if anyone see did you see, or anyone in the chat see the bit with Che Given before the game? That was brilliant. Where Given was had he went to the training ground. He had where was wearing a camera as well, and he did kind of a lot of kind of work with Popey and the goalkeeping crew there, and just the overall kind of experience. It's first time going back to the training ground since 2009, since he left, and it was really interesting, good little chat, and he talked about the togetherness and everyone eating together and just the bond that everyone has. But if you haven't seen it, Chris, it looks like you haven't.
No, I haven't, mate. I haven't.
Yeah, I'm sure there's clips somewhere, so it's a nice little piece to add. And yeah, I do like Shay Given on Sky there. He's doing a good little job there at the moment. But right, let's go on to the defense. I think I'd give the defense overall a 6. Now it was because we conceded 2 goals. Shark could have scored one. The ball going through Botman's legs. Little things like that. But yeah, Trippier with the deliveries. Some of them could be better as well. So overall, I give them a 6. I think across the board.
I'd probably go slightly higher. I'd say maybe 7. I didn't look back at the game and think the defense really messed up. Big shout out to Target as well. I thought Target came on and I thought he did well when he came on Target. Looked far more comfortable than he did the last time he came on. Thinking back at performances, I mean, Botman, I've seen Botman play better, got to be honest. Shah, Trippier. I thought Trippier handled Martinelli pretty well, bar the odd time. But on the whole, I thought Trippier managed Martinelli pretty well. But yeah, I'd say probably about 7. I'd say.
Okay. All right, cool. We move on to midfield then. Yeah, midfield for me, it was I thought it was Bruno's probably worst game ever for us, and I absolutely love Bruno, and I'm not slagging him off or anything like that. But
No.
I just thought that he didn't have his best game. I actually would have, when we went 2-0 down, I would have taken him off just to kind of protect him and give him a bit of a break as well. But he for me, he wasn't. He was kind of just off the pace. But again, that could be linked to potential injury that it's been talked about before. So I don't know, but not Bruno, not the greatest days. Joe Linton, he was better, but not much better. Willock, I thought had a good game actually, good enough game. I give him the highest rating out of the midfielders if I was to give anyone a higher rating. But what's your thoughts on the midfield?
I agree with you, Daz. I thought Bruno was the worst of the 3. I thought Joe Linton had moments, but again, a lot of the time the game passed him by. Because I thought Xhaka and Jorginho were brilliant. I know Odegaard was probably the best player on the pitch. So like we were up against it today in the midfield. Joe Willock. The only thing with Joe Willock, I thought he had a pretty good game, like you say. But I just found it frustrating. Again, we're talking moments. There was a couple of times where he could have got his shot off for that split second earlier.
Yeah.
And then the shot where he hit it straight at Ramsdale, if he'd bent it, it was in. It was in.
Yeah.
And so that was frustrating. But, I thought Joe Willock played reasonably well. But yeah, the midfield just weren't at it today. Whether that's because of Arsenal's midfield or whether that's just because something wasn't quite right, I don't know. But really, if I'm being honest, we lost the game in the midfield today.
Yeah. And of course, we are missing Longstaff. Like it just, it's coming to light now. Everyone is clicking that. Yes, we need Longstaff. But okay. Let's move on then to the attack with Murphy, Wilson, and Isak. I thought Murphy did okay in the first half. I agree with switching them out though when we did. Like he got a few good balls into the box. Wilson, he was unlucky at times. Isak, I thought, was probably the best of our attackers. And out wide, once he got the ball, he was creating. It looked like he was going to create something. So he would have got my highest rating of the attackers. But just didn't click for us. We're just unlucky today. It could, and another day we could have won that match 2-0, but today it's just a bad day at the office in that sense. But it's definitely not like the Villa performance where we were crap. Definitely, like we go, if we play like that against Leeds, we win. If you ask me. But yeah, your thoughts on the attack?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the attack was pretty decent. I mean, I would have liked to have seen a bit more from Wilson. He tried his best to hold the ball up, but I must admit I was gutted when I saw Gabriel was starting. Because we were promised that he wasn't starting, but as soon as I seen him, I thought, because I think it's Kidawar, I think his name is.
Yeah,
he looks a bit shaky, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And I think if it was Rob Holding next to him, we might have seen a different game. I thought Isak had moments of brilliance as usual. Like his footwork is unbelievable. Absolutely.
He can get out of
unbelievable.
any situation, can't he?
Oh,
He's
mate,
grand.
it's so good. And I thought Jacob Murphy. I thought Jacob Murphy did well again. You know,
Yeah.
he. But I suppose a couple of things to highlight. Now we're getting towards the end of the team. Daz, is you said it at the start of the show. I thought St. Maximin had a really good cameo. I thought he really looked dangerous when he came on. Gordon again trying his best. We've all said, haven't we, we're going to see the best of Gordon next
Yeah.
season, but it's another positive cameo. And I thought Elliot Anderson done well as well. You could tell he had them rattled, Elliot Anderson, because a few of them were, he was doing a few jinking and moving and stuff like that. And I thought he was. I thought he looked really lively when he come on. So we do, as a few people in the
There's
chat have said,
definitely
we do have
positives.
positives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's definitely
absolutely,
positives. Yeah.
absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. Right. That is we're flying through this, Chris. Jesus,
Yeah, well,
rapid.
Yeah.
But because we're holding out hopes that that West Ham do us a massive favor. But let's bring up the table, and let me just refresh it as well. In case anything has changed since. But yeah, no. So there's still one. Man United are still 1-0 down, which is great to see. So yeah, let's look at the title race first. So yeah, Arsenal have played a game more, but they're a point behind Man City. Still, Man City's to lose. And I don't know who they're playing next. I haven't even looked at that. I don't really care so much. Let them battle it out. It's not gonna. Well, hang on. We actually
I can find out for you, Daz, if you want.
they have to play Brighton, who are still in the mix with us on the second last
this?
game of the season. Man City would have to play
Oh, Man
Brighton.
City.
Yeah. So because the Brighton, where we have still the potential to get 77 points from what's left from the 4 games left. Man United, as this is excluding the games happening now, before that game kicked off, they could have had the potential of getting 78 points. So if they lose that, they have the potential of getting only 75 points. Liverpool, with 3 games remaining, they have the potential to get to 71 points. So we need 6 more points to be guaranteed, and with the better goal difference, to be guaranteed without any question that we are in Champions League.
Just to add, Daz, Man United have got Wolves at home. They've got Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, and Fulham at home.
Wow. Okay. Cool. That's right.
West Ham are all over them, by the way. West Ham are literally just peppering their box. You'd think that West Ham were looking for an equaliser the way they're playing. Oh, geez, yeah. West Ham are all over
them. Yeah. So yeah, Liverpool and Brighton are our 2 biggest dangers. Are two top 4 spots. So Liverpool, they have to play Leicester, Aston Villa, and Southampton last game of the season. So Villa might give them a decent game, but they are at home. Liverpool are at home for that one. So and Brighton, they have to play Everton, Arsenal, us, Southampton, Man City, and Villa. So Brighton have a very difficult kind of a few games ahead because they have to go to a lot of teams there that are still challenging and fighting. That's actually everyone they're playing is still fighting for something. So whether it be to stay in the Premier League, whether it be a Europa League, or whether it be the Championship or the top 4. So every game is a cup final for Brighton there in their run in. So yeah, that's where we sit. Any thoughts there, Chris, on the table yourself?
You know what? I think you're right. I mean, obviously we've got to look at Brighton, haven't we? Brighton look quite far way down, but yeah, they've got like 2 games in hand on us and 3 games in hand ahead of the likes of Liverpool and Tottenham. But I think I said this to you pre-show as well, didn't I? Daz? Like today, as much as it would have been nice to win and obviously put in get the 3 points or get a point, I still don't feel, like I said this a few weeks ago, I still don't feel it's season defining.
No.
Yes, anybody is capable of losing to Arsenal. There's no shame in it. It's disappointing because we could have if we took those big chances, it could have been a different result. But for me, I think all eyes should be firmly now on Leeds away and the other 3 remaining games, because, as you rightly say, if we pick up another 6 points, it's all really in our hands. And then Liverpool, what are we looking at there, Daz? Goal difference. So with the 7 goal difference at the minute, and obviously if we win the 2 games, you'd like to think that we'd add a few more goals onto that. So you could be looking at, say, a swing of about 10 in goal difference. And that's a big amount for Liverpool to turn around. It means them winning 3 or 4-0 in their games, which isn't easy to do. So I think you're right. I think it's 2 more wins.
Question for you, Chris. With Sam Allardyce now in charge at Leeds, and them doing, they came back. It was 2-1 against Man City there yesterday. Would that worry you? Would Leeds worry you? With Big Sam in charge?
That's a good question. I think it'll be a different game. I wouldn't say they worry me, because if anything, I think Sam Allardyce will be looking at our game and thinking, let's not get beat. I don't think he's going to be saying, right, Newcastle are in town, let's go at them. I just don't see that, because I think he knows if he does that, we'll turn them over. So if anything, I'd say for us, it will be trying to break them down and just being mindful that they're going to, attempt to get us on the counter. But as we saw with Man City, if if we go 1-0 up, they're going to have to open out, and if Leeds open out, that's where I think we destroy them. I think we're more than capable of getting 3 points, but it's a different proposition, Daz. You're right. It's a different proposition coming up against a Sam Allardyce Leeds team.
The next question, follow-up question here, Chris. Would you go with Wilson and Isak up front against Leeds away from home, or would you go back to the tried and trusted and just play one of them and then bring one off the bench if and when needed?
Do you know what? I think this may or may not surprise you, Daz, but I think I'm totally going against what I said last time now. For this particular game, I think you keep either Wilson or Isak on the bench, so that they come on as the impact. I don't think you go. I don't think. Oh, I was going to say no. I can't say that. Not on the thing, because it'll come across wrong, and then someone will make a T-shirt of it. So I won't say that. You can't. I was going to say you can't blow your load. I didn't mean it like that though. You need to hold something back. Hold something back, and then when Leeds get tired, 65, 70 minutes, bring on Isak or bring on Wilson, and then just go at them and really try and finish the game off. So for me, I would be starting St. Maximin on the left or Gordon. I'd keep Murphy on the right, and I think if we're doing it on turns, Daz, I think it's Isak's turn against Leeds. So I think it'll be Gordon or Maxi, and then it'll be Isak through the middle, and then it'll be Murphy on the right. And I think Wilson will come on, hopefully, when maybe the game's in the balance, or if we're 1 or 2-0 up, and he'll bring Wilson on to kind of finish the job.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how I see it happening.
Yeah.
What about you, Daz?
I will be interested to see if he's tempted to go with ASM. I think he'll revert back to just playing one. I think he'll have Wilson as on the bench, unless Wilson has an unbelievable record against Leeds as well. But I think he'll probably go with Isak and have Wilson on the bench, but I think he'll also leave ASM on the bench as well, but unleash him early if needs to be, because I think Leeds are going to sit back and try and soak it all up and try and hit us on the counter. So if we can't break them down by half time, I could see changes happening then and going for it then. But and that's the 12:30 kickoff, I think, next Saturday. So that will be all eyes be on that, because we need to bounce back now and get a win, and just to relieve any tensions that might be there, any doubts in people's minds, and then put the pressure on everyone else then as well. If we got a win on that game on the Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, then we put pressure on everyone else to follow suit. Hopefully they crumble, because Liverpool are winning, but they're only winning by one goal. Like, so it could I could love to see them drop points. I would love it. I would love it if they drop some points. And I've full faith that Brighton will drop points along the way. So because they've still got too many games, like 6 games left, and then in 3 weeks, so 2 games a week. It's tough going.
Daz, just while we're on the subject of the league and fixtures, etc., we had a question in the chat. Oh, 2-0.
2-0.
Has he ruled it out? As he rules it out, he looks disappointed. Souček's just scores, but he's just put his head in his hands. Hang on, the ball's come in the box. Is he off? Is he off? Is he off? Yeah, he's off. Yeah, he's off.
What's the time in that game?
73 minutes gone.
Okay.
So as you say, Daz, even a draw to be all right. We take that. So a question came in from FMOGB, and he says, okay, so what's the prediction for the end of season points now? So Daz, given the fact that, and I'm just going to quickly whiz these off for you, given the fact that we've lost today, our remaining fixtures are as follows: Leeds away on Saturday, Brighton at home on next Thursday, and then we've got Leicester at home, and then we've got Chelsea away. So how many points are you predicting from those last 4 games?
Okay, if I take them one by one, I think we got to go in at Leeds, but it's not going to be a cricket score. Let's say it's we might get a 2-0 win, because we'll go 1-0 up, then they have to come and play, because they need to, they're going to sit back before that. Then we'll hit them on the counter and get 2. So then we'll beat Leeds 2-0. Brighton have to play. Before that we play them, they have to play Everton and Arsenal. I think there's a short turnaround time between our game, them playing Arsenal, and our game. So I think we can beat Brighton as well. So I think 6 points. Leicester, I think we win that as well. And then the last game of the season, it's not going to matter. So altogether, I'm going to say we 10 points.
Yeah, 10 points, and that puts us on. Is that 75? Am I right saying that?
That would put us on 75. Yeah.
Yeah, which is more than enough.
Probably land us in 3rd spot at that rate of going. Now that has been very optimistic there.
Yeah.
But I know Leicester are going to be fighting for their lives. Leeds are going to be fighting for their lives. Brighton are fighting to get into Europe. Like, they could still potentially get into Champions League. And Chelsea, as some we said before, have the flip flops on. Even though they started to pick up a few games, but no.
Do you know what, Daz? I think it's key, isn't it? I think it's key that we've got those home games against Brighton and Leicester. I think the home games against Brighton and Leicester are going to be massive. I mean, if we can avoid defeat against Leeds, and again, I may be sounding a bit pessimistic there, but if we can avoid losing to Leeds, so if we get a point or win, and then we have Brighton at home and Leicester at home. If you think about it, we said, didn't we, that we need 6 points. So if we get that point against Leeds, minimum, Eddie Howe will be saying to the lads, listen, all you've got to do is win your next 2 home games, and the crowds are going to be so far behind them. The momentum will be going, especially if we beat Leeds. Momentum will be going, and they'll go 100% behind them. And then before we know it, Daz, we could have our 7 points or our 6 points or whatever. And in fact, it wouldn't be 6, would it? It'd be 7. We'd have our 7 points even before we get to Chelsea on the last game of the season.
Yeah, and I think I still, just for to keep the we have a new arrival.
Get him in. Hey.
Hey, how you doing, boys? You okay?
I don't know why we're so made up.
Where are you? Where are you, Annika?
Just outside the Dog and Parrot. Oh shit! I'm about to get run over. Ah!
It's great footage, though, if you do, Pete.
What's that?
It's great television if you get run over, Pete.
We get great views.
I couldn't hear you that little bit there, but I was just walking past the Dog and Parrot. Some bus nearly ran me over, so I was just trying to get out of the way a bit. But
it wasn't the Arsenal team bus, was it?
Yeah, probably. Probably. Oh, and actually, it probably would have broke down and started crying and fell over or did something like that, because that's what they did all game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's very true. We haven't even talked about the game management. I mean, any of the media outlets watching that, or Mark Lawrenson, apparently we made up the dark arts, but I think we saw a lot of that today, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, Chris, we made it up, but other teams are playing the game now, and that's exactly what they did. They took a leaf out of our book. But the most disappointing thing for me, I don't know what you guys think, is that I haven't got an issue with them doing that, because we've done it this season and we've got points off the back of it. But there's the only thing that disappointed me about it is the fact that we fell for it. We allowed them to get away with it. We played into their hands. We got wound up. The crowd got wound up. Joe Linton, Wilson, Willock, Bruno, they all got wound up by it. And it was exactly what they wanted. Exactly what they wanted. We played into their hands, which is, for me, that's the big shame.
Yeah, no. Agree, Pete. Agree. We're just talking about the next upcoming games, but how would you approach the Leeds game, Pete? Who would you start, and would you go all out, or would you sit back for a while and then unleash it in the second half?
No, I did say it was a risk playing Isaac and Wilson in the same team. It was a risk because we risked not having the firepower come off the bench. It was proved to be the case, because I don't know how you guys felt, but I could feel it in the stadium when the likes of Miggy and Gordon came off the bench. There wasn't the same excitement. There wasn't the same oomph that you get when a Wilson comes off the bench. You think, right, he's going to change the game here, like Wilson did against Southampton. We got a lift from it. We didn't get that lift. We did, to a certain extent, from Alan Maximin. I thought Maxi did well. When he came on, he created a little bit something different. But for me, I think we go back to tried and trusted. And this is regardless of whether Longstaff is going to be fit. It's looking like he's not. Might even be a season over. He's been sent to a specialist today, apparently, from what Jordan said. So that, for me, rules him out potentially for the rest of the season if that doesn't come back well. But Isaac has to start. He's our number one striker. Wilson scored goals, and fair play to him. But for me, he's our number one man, and we missed him not being in the middle today. So I would play him against Leeds, and I'd have Wilson come off the bench and do what he does best, is that he creates havoc and scores goals off the bench. That's what you need. Eddie Howe, and it's not his fault, he pandered to the pressure that was put on him by the media to play both Isaac and Wilson. And you could argue that they both deserved it, but it wasn't right for the team. So for me, that's where we need to go back to basics, do what's right for the team, not necessarily for the player. We get the results in the bag. I'm still confident. We were unlucky today. Yeah. On a different day, we get the penalty. Isaac scores in the first half. It's a different story. But for me, the game doesn't change. The plan doesn't change. We need to get 2 more wins, 6 points, does it. But then you factor in the goal difference, which is better at the moment. 7 points we'll see us home. And that's all that matters for me. If we get the points against Leeds, we ramp up the atmosphere on Thursday, make it a big special night against Brighton. Brighton will fumble. I've got no doubt about it.
Yeah, we're after saying the exact same things, Pete, Chris, and I. And as you're walking back to Leicester there, would you start ASM?
No. Well, saying that, it depends how fit he is. If they've looked at him and he's done his training, and he's fit enough to start and give us 60 minutes, I'd play him. Why not? But then you've got to look at, do you bring Gordon in? Gordon arguably didn't play too bad against Southampton, but was brought off. Do you not start him again in a game against Leeds and keep your midfield the way it is? But I have to be honest, that midfield 3 doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. We need a ball breaker in there. Bruno Guimaraes was overrun time and time again today. It was a really disappointing performance from him. We're just going to have to limp through without Longstaff, if I'm honest. It's going to be difficult. And if anyone argued what we said earlier on in the season when we were talking about it, Daz, just goes to show how important Longstaff is.
Yeah.
Aston Villa, Southampton, even though we got the job done, and again today, without him, we're not the same team. But we need to go out there and prioritise getting a number 6, an absolute ball breaker, someone that can break up play, that can cause havoc in that midfield and stop teams playing. That's what we need.
100%, Pete. We agree completely with you. Are you going into a car park now? You look like you are.
Yeah, my car's just here. So, boys, I'm going to leave you. I'll speak to you on the chat. I'll maybe drop a voice note on the way home or something like that. But yeah, I just thought I'd just pop on. I just literally come back and just saw that you guys were on, so I thought I'd come and join you. But yeah, keep up the good work, boys, as always. And I'm sure we'll be doing a few shows next week.
Nice one. We sure will. Pete, take it easy. Safe
care, boys.
Trip home.
Yeah.
Good luck.
See you later.
That was Pete Davey, a cameo, much like ASM today, but really put in a nice performance. Covered as much ground as well there, as we can see. But yeah, no, look, it's Pete didn't hear us, but we're all aligned. We're all saying the same things there, Chris. Right, maybe is any more questions you want to go to? And is it still 1-0? And you're on mute, Chris.
Tonight I'm off again, aren't I? It's still 1-0 Daz within the 83rd minute. There was a little bit of stoppage though, so I imagine there'll be a few extra minutes added on. Okay. I mean, if you want, Daz, it's up to you. We can try and take some questions. Maybe we can carry on till we see this game out. It'd be interesting nice. Just to see if Man United can nick one back. Hopefully not, but we will see. Do you know what? I don't actually think we only had the one question. So if anyone's got a question, fizz it in. But what we can do in the meantime, Daz, is what would be your starting 11 for Leeds? What I mean, I'm assuming your goalie and your back four, but yeah. Are you changing the midfield up much, or are you? And what are you doing about your front three?
All right, front three. Still think I'd start with Murphy. I'd go with Isak, and I'd bring on. I think I'd go with Gordon and have ASM as that impact then. Can you imagine bringing ASM and Wilson on if you need to? I think we have to stick with who else can you stick in the midfield really? We're short of options. So yeah, I suppose it's Gordon in, Wilson out, and having ASM and Wilson as the impact then to change it into the second half. Or earlier, if let's say, God forbid, we went a goal behind, then I'd switch it up straight away. But I think Leeds would be terrified seeing ASM and Wilson coming off the bench for us. But what do you think, Chris?
I agree with you, Daz. I really do. I mean, unfortunately, and we said this, didn't we, when John Joe Shelby left? It left us a little bit light in midfield. So obviously all it took was one of our central midfielders to get injured, as we've seen in Sean. And now the options are quite limited, aren't they? Because if you don't start, oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. If we don't start Joe Litton in the middle, it's like, who else do you put in the middle? This is the problem, isn't it? It's the problem that we've got. So, it might just be that we need to, just kind of stick with Joe Linton, Bruno and Willock. That would be my three anyway. And then I would play Gordon on the left, Murphy on the right, and Isak through the middle. And then, like you say, I'd have Callum Wilson coming on as an impact, and I would have St. Maximin coming on as well. Obviously, it's subject to
Miggy as well.
Miggy,
you have Miggy as well to come on for Murphy later on as well, like what's happened. But while we're waiting to see if any more questions come in, I just give a shout out to the sponsors. So shout out to the RadiatorShed.com and Russ's company here, which you'll know all about already, and from the fabulous radiators that are on offer there through Russ. And actually, if mention our name and you'll get a discount as well, because he said that to me before. So we have to make a more formal thing on that. But yeah, I know Russ is so busy these days, we don't even get him in the chat. But this is Russ there, as you'll have seen him in the past. But yeah, and shout out as well to the Install Works, Russ's other company. And then a shout out to H2O Bathroom Design Co., the Northeast's largest supplier of Velcro and Bosch bathroomware. Team Valley Gateshead, over 20 years established, run by the family. Get down to the showroom on 11th Avenue, Team Valley Estate, Gateshead. And as you'll have seen in the past, all the fabulous bathrooms are on offer. And I think go down if you're interested in going there, actually drop our name as well. You might get a discount there, or go via Russ and Martin is the chap in H2O Bathroom Design Co. So yeah, he will sort you out. Any questions, Chris?
Yeah, I've got a question for you, Daz. So David Cook says he thought that Byrne kept Saka pretty quiet. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
I wasn't pinpointing Byrne for anything particularly bad today. So no, I've no complaints on Byrne. I didn't actually take. You mentioned the target did well. I didn't actually notice so much of that stage, probably because we're 2-0 down. I was like,
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
But I did. But yeah, Saka was quite enough. So yeah, fair play to Byrne. It wasn't the day that we could say, oh, it was Byrne's fault and the pace of Byrne. He's not a natural left back and blah blah blah. So no, not wasn't Byrne's massive issue today.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I agree. I thought Byrne played pretty well actually. And let's not forget, Saka on his day is a really, really, really good. He's been one of the best wingers in the league this season, hasn't he? So again,
Yeah.
he's kept Saka quiet as he did when we played at the Emirates. I thought he did really well then as well. Let's have a quick look at any other questions. Yeah, so Was I Eat Here has said anybody's thoughts on next season's shirt. So have you seen any rumours on the shirt, Stas?
I've seen the talks about white socks and that kind of conversation. I know Ben had a tweet out about it, and then Jordan had it out in an article as well. But yeah, and I think it was going to be the home is going to be a V neck rather than a round neck this time as well. And after that, I don't really know. Just we'll see. There's still talk of it dropping on the same day as the Stam Fender concert. Whether we get pictures before that, I'm not so sure. But and then the big talk is about who's the sponsor going to be, and there's names chopping about there. So yeah, there's plenty. And I think as well, are they waiting as well to see do we get Champions League football? And does the price change there, as in what we're going to get for it? And maybe everything's on hold there, but there's not long to wait. We'll know all the answers to all these questions in 3 weeks. So
we will.
Plenty of action ahead.
There's been 8 minutes added on, Daz.
What? Do not know we're waiting until this match is over.
8 minutes. 8 minutes, Daz. So oh no, he's in. Oh my God, he should have scored.
Who's that?
Martial's just had a fantastic
okay.
chance. But no, so we're okay. It's gone out for the corner to Man United. He literally ran through about 2, 3, 4, 5 players. Yeah. So we got lucky there. Lisa Moore mentions that apparently there was a plane flying over St James's Park today with an anti-Saudi message. Interesting.
Here's the run-in as well.
Sorry,
here's
go
the
on,
run-in as well, Chris. If people want to see it, so and we might do another. We said before we do a part 2 on this. So I think I have it more or less up to date apart from the game that's ongoing. So that's where I was getting my figures from earlier. But I kind of zoomed it in a bit to as well because Spurs and Villa can't catch us now.
No.
But I could here it is in plain viewing. Whereas this match is ongoing, so we'll be update that in a while. But yeah, who is your biggest worry? For me, it's Liverpool.
Yeah, I think it continues to be Liverpool. Let's be honest. If you look at Brighton's fixtures, Brighton are not going to be able to pick up wins from all those games. It just won't happen. I think they beat Everton comfortably tomorrow. I think the Arsenal game is going to be a struggle for them. I think the Newcastle game is going to be a struggle for them. So come the end of those first 3 games, I think Brighton will be out. I think they'll be out the equation. They won't even be in the conversation anymore. Plus, they've got Man City as well, second to last game of the season. So
Yeah.
I don't think Brighton have a problem. Yeah, Liverpool does. I mean, the only thing is they're going to the King Power there in the next game. That's not going to be an easy game, especially given the fact that Leicester are going to have to be, play the hearts out, aren't they, to try and stay up.
Yeah.
And I think some people are assuming that, the Aston Villa game, because they're at home, they should be all right. But Aston Villa, as we've seen, they're a pretty good side. So Aston Villa will give them
Yeah.
a good game.
It's turned on them there with 2 defeats in the last 2 games, but apart from that, they were on fire for a while. So yeah, not an easy game is that Villa one. And if you wanted to throw Brighton into the mix there again, they have to play Villa the last game of the season as well as playing them. So yeah, there's a lot of. It might come back to bite me, but I don't think Brighton are going to get into the Champions League. They're gonna fall short.
I agree, mate.
And who's to say that it's not us that Liverpool catch, but Man United? Because okay, they have played 35. This will go to 34 games after this one that's on now. So there would be a point behind and play the game more. So you never know. You never know.
No.
But you would imagine Man United will pick up points in those other games. Wolves are doing well. They're better a lot. So you never know. Interesting.
Do you know what the nicest thing about all this, Daz, us talking about all this, the nicest thing is it's very much in our hands, isn't it? The whole thing is in our hands.
Yeah,
and as long as we pick up the points we need, then the rest is irrelevant, isn't it?
Yeah. And look at this as well. The other thing I was thinking when the game was on, look at we're talking, isn't it nice for a change to be talking about things on the top end of the table, and we didn't think we'd be talking about potentially getting into the Champions League. We're not talking about the relegation run in and having a spreadsheet of we need to win these games to stay up. We're not even talking about we need to get into the top 10. We need to win. We're talking about we need to continue a bit of a run like we have been on, and we'll get ourselves into the Champions League. And we're already in Europe, so we've surpassed what I think any of us thought we would do this season. So positive.
And you know what, Daz, you're absolutely right. I think not only that, we've come up against an Arsenal team today. We've not disgraced ourselves. We've just been beaten by the better team, and a few of our players didn't turn up. But let's not forget, we're coming up against the likes of Ødegaard, Saka, Xhaka, Jesus, these fantastic players. Martinelli had a really good game. We're coming up against top players, and without being disrespectful, we're going to be coming up against the Leeds side, who are in desperate need of points, yes, and obviously they've got the new manager bounce under Sam Allardyce, but that team compared to Arsenal's team is a different kettle of fish, isn't it? And Leeds have got like Patrick Bamford up front and Rodrigo, and they've got players there who, on our day, if we perform to the best of our capabilities, we should be able to comfortably numb any threat from Leeds. So I'm still very, very hopeful, put it that way.
Cool. What's the time on the match?
We've got 2.5 minutes left, Daz, and I'm not going to lie, Man United are knocking on the door. West Ham have just brought on a couple of subs to try and see the game out. They're defending for their lives. Man United are doing the very best to just get the ball forward as quickly as possible. But West Ham, so far, I mean, I've just seen an attack then. West Ham are literally playing looks like an 8-1-1, something like that. They've just got so many men back, and they're just doing the very best to just make sure the ball stays away from their box. So yeah, currently about 2 minutes left.
For West Ham, that would take them to 37 points, and they would be. That's safe, really. It's okay. There's the teams on 34. There's 12 points on offer, and there's 7 points clear. You can't see it'd be difficult for those teams down there to claw back 7 points. And of course, I don't know who their remaining games are, but that would.
Is this West Ham you're talking about?
West Ham? Yeah, for West Ham. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking
so
at
West
the table.
Ham. Let's have a look. I can tell you who's West Ham's next games are. West Ham. Let's have a quick check. After today's game, West Ham have got Brentford away. They've then got, sorry, I just keep checking the screen. Leeds at home, which is a massive game. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Bruno's just smacked it really, really high and wide. And they've got
Yeah.
Leicester away. So West Ham are going to have a big say in the relegation battle there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, having to play Leicester and
well,
Leeds. It's a big
it's definitely in their hands, anyway.
Yeah.
No, and of course they're still in, isn't it, the semi-final of that Conference League as well coming up, I think. I
Yeah.
think it's the semi-final. But yeah, so
Yeah, I think they're in the semis, aren't they? Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know who they're
yeah,
playing, but they are in the semis. I mean, Lawless will be delighted with that, won't he?
yeah.
They had a bit of a sweat on playing that Ghent, but they made it through. They did what they needed to do. But
Let's
yeah, it's a
see.
massive 3 points for West Ham tonight. Massive 3
Is
points.
it Alkmaar? They play them on Thursday. It's
Ooh.
the first semi-final, first leg. And yeah, the following leg is the following week on the Thursday as well. So then, if they win that, they're through to the final. So interesting.
Yeah, very.
How are we looking now in time, Chris? Talk
Oh,
us
mate,
through the end.
I think there's literally about 20 seconds to go. So De Gea's just smashed it up. We're into the 8 minutes now, so surely they've got to blow the whistle sooner or later. West Ham are literally just trying to keep the ball up we're into the Man United end of the pitch. Yeah, they're running it into the corner flag. I think it's Flynn who's done that. Oh, foul. Okay, free kick to West Ham on the edge of Man United's box. And as I say, we're 20 seconds away from the 9th minute of injury time. So surely the referee's just going to let this free kick happen.
I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change up the board.
There you go. Surely that's surely.
Don't tell me they come up and score now.
I know. Surely, West Ham are going to get these 3 points now. You would think. They all look very nervous, cheering the lads on. So it's going to be a free kick to West Ham. Some of the I'm saying some. A lot of the Man United fans are leaving. They're already leaving. West Ham have got it the corner flag, and it's full time, 1-0.
Ooh, yes.
Jobs are
Nice
good.
one. Thanks, West
Tell you
Ham.
what, it would have been good having a bet on that today, wouldn't it? Arsenal winning West Ham.
Yeah.
Tell you.
But no, look, we're still have it in our hands to finish in third as well, because the maximum points we can get is 77, Man United 75, Liverpool 71, and Brighton 73. So still in our hands to never mind even top 4 to get top 3 after the defeat today. So that's not all bad either. So let's remove that now. But Anthony, that's Chris before we shut down the show for the night.
Schnarf. Is that off Thundercats? Schnarf. It is, isn't it?
Never
the cat
heard
that
of it
goes
before.
Schnarf. I could be wrong. Schnarf, if I'm wrong, mate, apologies, but I feel like that's a Thundercats name. But he says, do we think Gordon can and has the discipline to play the Longstaff role in his absence so that Joe Linton doesn't have to? It's an interesting question. He's full of energy there, Gordon. But is he essential midfielder? Does?
I think it's what's Eddie's long-term plan for him, because like every time we're playing him up as a striker for a while. So I probably wouldn't put him there. No, I wouldn't. I'd rather him as a winger. I definitely don't see him as a striker though either. I could never understand why Everton used to play him as a striker.
Yeah, do you know what? He's probably a he's more a winger, isn't he? I know Everton probably paid him through the middle for that pace and energy, and obviously he gets in behind. But yeah, he's definitely a winger, possibly a number 10 if you're playing in a 4-2-3-1 formation. But it seems that nobody plays that formation anymore.
I don't think I could see him there. But who knows in the future? But not for these upcoming games. No, I think I'd stick with the 3 that we have. If we were really stuck, then you could try him then. But no.
Yeah. By the way, Daz, a little question for you, just off the top of my head. How do you see tomorrow's results going? Because obviously, I've in our house, I've called tomorrow relegation bank holiday Monday. because tomorrow we've got Fulham. We've got Fulham.
You have a
Leicester.
bank holiday.
Yeah.
I don't have a bank holiday, Chris. That's
Oh,
the
do you
first
not have a bank
problem
holiday,
there.
Ross? Are you at work
No,
tomorrow?
no. Because there's not a bank holiday for the coronation here in Ireland, surprisingly enough.
Well, yeah, true.
uh,
I just assume everyone lives in England. Apologies for that.
Yeah. Let me see what the list of games is. Let me connect to my Wi-Fi. Okay, we've got Fulham, Leicester. Fulham are at home. This is on at 3 o'clock. Great, I can keep an eye on that. Fulham win.
Fulham win, yeah.
Another Fulham win, I think there.
Okay,
Brighton, Everton. Brighton, Everton. I'm going to go a Brighton win.
And then look at that evening game, Daz.
Forest, Southampton. I'm going to say a Forest win.
I tell you what. So if those results happen, Daz,
three homes.
Yeah, if those results happen, where would that leave? So Forest, it'd be a massive 3 points for Forest. That'll put Forest into 16th. Leicester would still be down because they'd have picked up no points. Leeds. When do Leeds play, or have Leeds already played? Have Leeds played? Did Leeds play?
They played Man City.
Oh, Leeds played Man City. Yes, yes. So that would climb Forest out of the bottom three, and it would put Leeds in the bottom three. Yeah, wow. I mean, that'd be a huge 3 points for Forest. I think Forest have to win tomorrow because I was looking at this earlier. If Forest don't win tomorrow, have you heard who Forest's next 3 games are?
Chelsea, I think it's one.
They've got Chelsea away, they've got Arsenal at home, and they've got Palace away. It's not good.
Yeah, Forest need to win that one. That's a 6-pointer for sure. That'll be a good game to watch as well. But that is it, Chris. That is it for the night. Thanks everyone that tuned in. So the summary is it was a defeat, but all is not lost. And even with that Man United result where West Ham beaten Man United, that has helped us a bit. It's changed things up a bit for us. All on to the Leeds game on Saturday at 12:30, where we should be going for a win there. When we would get ourselves back on track and close this out and get us into that Champions League. But thanks everyone, and thanks Chris for joining us, and thanks to Pete for jumping on as well. No idea where anyone else is, but apart from that, we'll finish out the show with the how. Night everyone. See you later.
Bye.